shocking scene in Sabine County. An attorney accused of killing his own son at their lake house at Toledo Bend. The gruesome details we are learning tonight from investigators. A vacant home in Mid-County burns to the ground tonight, burning questions on squatters and groves. What we've learned about the ongoing issue at this house now reduced to rubble. An assassin on the run in New York City tonight. A hit on the CEO of United Healthcare. The targeted attack. The massive manhunt underway right now for the hooded suspect on a bike, and the new clues in the shocking killing.
And rapid changes in the forecast.
Live from the KFDM studios, you're watching Live at 5 on KFDM Channel 6.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for watching Live at 5. I'm Aaron Drawhorn. Kimberly is off today. First at 5, it sounds like something out of a true crime novel, and investigators in deep East Texas say it's all fact, not fiction. A father charged with shooting and killing his own son, claiming a case of mistaken identity, then cremating the body, as he allegedly told the Sabine County Sheriff's Office. This all happened about 100 miles from Beaumont, up in the Toledo Bend area at the family's lake house. It's located on Mount Sinai Road. This is just east of the Fairmont community, if you're familiar with Toledo Bend when you're driving down Highway 87. The lead investigator with the Sabine County Sheriff's Office tells KFDM 68-year-old Michael Howard confessed to shooting his son, 20-year-old Mark Randall Howard, last Sunday night at the family's weekend lake home close to Toledo Bend. The investigator says Howard claimed he thought his son was an intruder and fired a 12-gauge shotgun at him. After that, he loaded the body into a front-end loader, placed it in a burn pile on the property, and in the words of the father, he cremated it. Howard is an attorney in Houston. Our media partner, KTRK-TV in Houston, went to his law office and knocked on the door. No one answered there. Investigators say Howard's family lives in Houston. His wife and other children were away at the time, while the father and son were at the lake house. We will have much more tonight on KFDM 6 News at 6. The latest now on a tragic case. The Port Arthur police chief tells KFDM tonight they need a big break right now to help solve the killing of a Valero gas station clerk. Chief Tim Duraso says they are tracking down leads in hopes of being able to identify the suspect, who was captured on surveillance camera video showing him enter that Valero gas station in the 700 block of West Gulfway Monday night. The video shows the suspect pull out a gun and then shoot the clerk. That victim, identified as 39-year-old Minaj Fernando from Sri Lanka. KFDM's Erica Harris went back to the Valero gas station today. Erica, what did you find out?
Aaron, the Valero gas station was still closed. No activity whatsoever as of late this afternoon. I called the store supervisor and he told me he is having trouble finding people to work. He says they are just too afraid. I also talked to Mayor Thurman Bartee, and he says there have been discussions with City Council to consider adding new crime-fighting technology to the police department's arsenal to help solve crimes more quickly. It's been 2 days since the fatal shooting at the Valero station. It's located in the 700 block of West Gulfway, and as of news time, the suspect has not been identified and no one has been arrested. I returned to the Valero today, and as you can see, it was shuttered closed. The supervisor says people are simply too afraid to work there, especially with the gunman still on the loose. I had a conversation with Mayor Thurman Bartee about the possibility of using technology to help solve crimes like the real-time crime center in Beaumont that is showing some success. Mayor Bartee says he is open to that possibility for the city of Port Arthur.
That technology, we've discussed it with our police chief. That technology is available to us here. The extent of it is not known. It's an unknown at the moment, because I don't believe that we have been able to do it in all areas and everywhere it probably should be. But AI is so great a component in our existence right now. I know it's coming.
Mayor Barty also sending his condolences to the victim's family and a message to the suspect to turn himself in. I also talked to Precinct 2 Constable Christopher Bates about crime prevention. More on what he had to say tonight at 6. For now, Aaron, back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Erica. New here at 5, developing now. KFDM 6 News has learned at least 7 Southeast Texas educators are under investigation by the state of Texas following a teacher certification fraud case that started out of Houston. Several people in Houston are charged with operating a ring, allegedly accepting money from teachers who didn't have to take the certification test, but they were shown to have passed. This list from the Texas Education Agency shows 5 current or former Port Arthur ISD teachers and 2 current or former BISD teachers. BISD Superintendent Dr. Shannon Allen just released a statement vowing to end the employment of anyone who is confirmed to have taken part in this fraud. Port Arthur ISD Superintendent Dr. Mark Portery says the district will also take swift action to end the employment of anyone confirmed to have taken part in that fraud. Follow up tonight, an abandoned home in Groves reduced to charred wood and ash after a fire last night is sparking concern about vacant structures in that city. One man says squatters have been using that home that burned down for years. KFDM's Sydney Ferguson reports tonight on the fire and how the city is handling both squatters and the vacant homes where they may live.
Smoke flies high above a Groves neighborhood Tuesday night as flames rip through a home on Monroe Boulevard. A neighbor says he watched from his driveway for 2 hours as the fire claimed the home, hoping it wouldn't visit his next. The neighbor wants to remain anonymous.
I was too shocked. I got my little girl home from school yesterday and it was fine. And an hour later it was on fire.
Ultimately, no one is hurt because no one lives there. The neighbor says the previous owner passed away, leaving the home vacant for the last 6 or 7 years. The neighbor says the house became a home for squatters.
I'm surprised it took this long because Groves PD has been here several times to run the spotters off.
3 days ago, this neighbor says he called Groves police on a homeless man who returned to the home with his clothes. He estimates Groves police have visited the home at least 5 times in recent years.
That concerns me. It does. You know, you have a vacant house next to you and you see people come and go, you kind of get worried,
The city of Groves does have an ordinance for vacant and abandoned structures that involves reaching out to a building's owner and stepping in to handle the building if the owner doesn't. The fire marshal couldn't give an exact number of vacant structures in Groves, but he says there are more than 20.
This is a shame this had to happen. They need to do something. They need to do something.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation and cannot be attributed to squatters, but this neighbor hopes the city takes action to avoid other buildings suffering a similar fate. I'm Sydney Ferguson reporting in Groves.
We reached out to Groves Police, Fire, and Building Codes with 9 questions to see if the city addressed the vacant home at any point, if the city is aware of a larger problem with squatters. As of airtime, we have not received a response. Groves, for now, along with Mid-County, seems to be staying dry, but a lot of our viewing area has been wet.
And very wet in the lakes and really concentrated up there. Still more rain coming in from the west as well. Let's take a look outside. Cloudy skies. The streets are wet here on the access road, Interstate 10 and near College. This is at Beaumont Emergency Hospital, and definitely have some showers still out there. In fact, very active out to our west in the Liberty-Dayton area. Some showers and thunderstorms still there, and they extend up into portions of Polk County, about to move into Tyler County. So we're not done yet. That rain will be swinging across sections of the triangle here during the next hour or so. Brooklyn ISD, they have had a gully washer so far, 2.4 inches of rain. And it's still raining up there, not raining nearly as hard. 0.12 of an inch per hour is 61 up there, sponsored by Rayburn Realty and Woodville Middle School. Also had a pretty good shot of rain, more on the way, almost 0.8 of an inch of rain. Wind gust to 18 is 58 up there after a high of only 60, sponsored by Sam Houston Electric Co-op. 50s over northeast Texas and 60s over a good chunk of the rest of the state. And we're looking at a cool down, a big cool down coming for Friday. Friday morning down close to freezing in the lakes, highs only in the low 50s. So you're heading in those football games, it will be chilly. And yes, more rain comes in toward the end of the weekend. We'll take a look in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Greg. Developing now. New York City police trying to track down the suspect who gunned down the CEO of United Healthcare right there. This happened in the middle of Manhattan. He was walking to an investor conference this morning. CBS News reporter Tim McNicholas has the latest now from the Hilton Hotel where this shooting happened.
Police released these surveillance images of the suspect and announced a $10,000 reward. We've frozen this video just before the moment police say he shot United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in the back and leg just outside the Hilton Hotel around 6:45 this morning.
Many people passed the suspect, but he appeared to wait for his intended target.
The NYPD believes Thompson, a 50-year-old father of two, was walking to the United Health Group's investor conference at the Hilton. Detectives say after the shooting, the shooter ran into an alleyway before getting on an e-bike and riding into Central Park.
There are GPSs on those bikes. We'll be working with the company.
United Health Group canceled the conference and released a statement saying in part, "We are deeply saddened and shocked, and Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who worked with him." Shock is also how tourists in the area describe their reaction.
It could happen anywhere, but Christmas here in Manhattan.
As massive crowds are expected in Midtown for tonight's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting.
I don't think there should be any cause where people have to kill someone else to get rid of them.
This is a terrible event, but we're going to go on and people are going to enjoy the tree lighting tonight.
Officers say they also recovered a cell phone from that alleyway and they're looking into whether it belonged to the suspect. In Midtown Manhattan, Tim McNicholas, CBS News.
So the tree lighting at 30 Rock goes on tonight. Our tree lighting had to be moved because of the rain.
Yeah, it turned
out. And you called it.
Yeah, and it looks like more rain's coming in. One more batch out to our west and a chilly Friday forecast.
The High Court taking up an issue that just didn't exist before. Justices hearing a high-profile culture war clash over banning treatment for transgendered kids. Pete Hegseth back on Capitol Hill defending himself so he can be Secretary of Defense. Two names President-elect Trump is considering if this nomination falls through.